Hello, 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 and welcome to the live Q&A session with yours truly, Donny Coram, the Foreclosure Deals Coach. This is the live broadcast where we discuss how you can get started finding, figuring, funding, fixing, and flipping your way to a $25,000 guaranteed profit through my very exclusive system right here in the Colorado Springs market. So let's get to chatting. It has been interesting doesn't quite describe the market right now. I would say weird. I like weird. I would say when you look at the combination of high interest rates and low inventory, what you have is a market that really wants to go fast because there's not a lot of houses to pick from, and a market that can't go fast because the affordability just isn't there. What is an investor to do in this time frame? Listen, if you're with me today, comment, let me know you're watching. Let's have a dialogue, a conversation this week about how you're feeling about the marketplace overall and what might be stopping you from getting into real estate investing, because it's easy to be afraid. Good morning to you as well, Rockstar. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. We're crushing it. I have to tell you, my clients right now, and obviously it's easy to brag upon the people that I'm consulting and mentoring, but I would be remiss if I didn't do a shout out to my buddy, Matt Aporta. I actually had him on the live broadcast a couple months back, where we were heading to see the property he was buying for his first deal, right? And now today, we did the remodels, about a 6-week remodel process, a little longer than we wanted. Property went on the market. It was listed for exactly 1 day before selling at full asking price. So I want you to see this property. I'm going to share my screen here real quick, because I want you to see that this is not as difficult as people make it out to be. Let's take a look at the property that Matt did. It is on McEwen, 5032 McEwen. Here we go. Anyway, bought the property for $350,000. I haven't gotten the final remodel budget, but I know we were budgeting around 30 to 35. So let's just go high and say that he went for 35. So he was into it for 385, and then we put it on the market. It went under contract in about a day and a half, give or take. Check out the beautiful job Matt did on this property. It came out gangbusters, baby. We're talking the nice paint job that we recommend, the countertops, the appliances came out nice. Laura, my lovely wife and top-notch interior designer, had a lot of input on how the property was supposed to look like. That's part of what you get when you sign up for the coaching service, is you get access to Laura, which is amazing because I barely get access to Laura. So it's kind of shocking that you guys, I got to pay her to come in and do the design on the house, right? And now my client's getting access to her to get this remodeling done. The end product was absolutely breathtaking. It sold in about a day. Matt is going to comfortably clear the minimum profit of 25 grand. And my guess is he'll do substantially better than that. But the point is anybody who has decided they want to jump in and start doing fix and flips right here in the marketplace can do so. The next thing you're going to say is, well, there are no deals in the market. Guys, let me tell you, we are finding deals every single day. I've got a secret weapon. His name is Scott. Okay, he might be watching right now, but I have to tell you, Scott is a pit bull in the acquisition space. Between Scott on my acquisitions team, Burke, who handles my dispositions, he helps to present the properties to my clientele, and Mike, my funding manager, we're banging out deals like clockwork right now. But let me just show you, can we find deals in this market? You bet we can. Take a look at what I'm doing on Privy. This is the tool we use each and every single day, and that you can use as well to find your own deals, okay? You don't need me to do this, but a lot of people want the hand-holding. They want to know from somebody who's done over 300 flips that they're making the right decision. So I'm helping to bridge that gap so you don't have to be worried about whether you bought the right deal or not. I'm going to help you to find the deal. We're going to do the deal together. I'm going to walk you through it. But are we finding deals? Well, here's one, 39 North Dartmouth. Check this thing out. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. It says it's 1,000 square feet, but I can see right there that it's got a basement, right? There it is. There's the basement. This house is trashed. Okay, this is what we're looking to buy. And if you take a look at what this property would go for, I'm like 90% certain I used to own this property. I know that's weird, but I'm looking at this now, and I'm at 80. I see a lot of these, but I'm pretty sure I flipped this house originally because I'm looking at the tile and the stuff that's in here, and it's very similar to what we put in our houses. I'll find out later. The point is this is listed at $265,000. We are already working to get this deal under contract for my clientele. It would easily go, let's check out the retail on this. You look around at using Privy and you've got one comp 0.09 miles away, which means if you threw a rock really hard from this subject property, you would hit this comparable sale that went for 400 grand in July. Okay, so that same neighborhood, about the same square footage. Obviously, it's a little bit newer. That may not be a great comp. Here's one on the same street, though, that went for 371. Was it remodeled? Let's take a look, right? Inside, did you see the pink carpet in this bad boy? Is pink carpet still in? Can anybody tell me that? Are we still putting pink carpet in? I don't think so, right? And despite that, this retail condition home went for $371,000 in retail condition. What that means is it's not as good as flipped condition, okay? There's a whole different market for people who take the property and modernize it. Buyers still want to buy homes, but if they're gonna pay 7 or 7.5% interest, they want new cabinets, they want new countertops, they want a nice property. They'll settle for this dated, you'll forgive me for saying, piece of crap if they get it 30,000, 40,000 below market like they did on this deal, right? But if this were in gangbuster condition, I promise you it would have gone for $400,000, maybe even a little bit more. Let's do one more comparable before we get going here. Here's one on Grinnell, again, about 0.35 miles away. It went for $400,000 to prove my point here. It is in retail condition, right? It does have a 2-car garage. We do not, but they did paint the cabinets. I don't think those were replaced from the original, but they're not brand new by any means. So they did some minor updates to the property. Did you see that countertop? Look at that countertop. Yellow tile from the 60s on this bad boy, and it still went for $400,000. So if we were able to get this property for $265, even $275 if there's a bidding war, even $280, okay, and we go in and sink $50,000, $60,000 into this property, we'll be into the deal for $315,000 to $320,000. We're selling it for $400,000, leaving an $80,000 gross spread. Now, guys, when you hear that, you think of the flipping shows where these guys are making 70, 80 grand a pop. This is not reality, okay? The reality is most professional flippers are looking to make between 20 and 30 grand on a flip, and they do volume. They'll do 20 to 30, maybe 50 of them a year. In my best year, I did 45 flips in a year. That's where you make the real money. It's not by crushing it on 1 or 2 deals. It's by doing a lot of deals over a long period of time. Okay, and literally, when you're doing 45 in a year and averaging 20 to 25,000 a pop, and my average is actually 32,000. Just brush my shoulder off a little bit, right? I was averaging $32,000 a deal. We're talking about $1.2 million in revenue to the company. And then I had expenses, operations staff, office space, etc., netting us right around $700,000 to $800,000 a year. And I'm not bragging to you guys. I'm saying when this is fully out to scale, you can make a lot, and I mean a lot of money doing this. But when you're first starting out, you have a day job, I hope. Right? You've got something you've got to do all day. So my program is going to help you to do deals without having to be involved in the day-to-day. We help you to find it. We analyze it with you. We fund it using my hard and private money lenders. We fix it using my contractors, and we flip it using my agent. With all that getting done, you're keeping the profit. And my goal, don't tell anybody, my goal is that you get so hooked on this process that you want to do 3 to 4 a year out of the gate. And then as you really get to scale, you start to want to do 10, 12, 30, 40, 50 flips. It's possible, but you got to walk before you run, right? And the thing about the process that I'm teaching right now is I'm teaching you that walking process, getting you going, getting the momentum. So when you're at full speed and this market starts to have a ton of foreclosures available to it, you will be well ahead of the process and start to make real money doing this. In the meantime, it's an incredible side hustle that should make you 100 grand a year without working that hard. Okay, that's what I'm offering. That's what the coaching product gets you. And congratulations to Matt and all of my students for taking that first step. If you're on the sidelines, not sure how to get started, not sure if you even want to get started, that's fine. That's what the coaching call is about. We sit down, have a quick conversation. I explain the program to you in copious detail. If it works for your investment portfolio, it's something you want to do, we sign you up for the coaching and we do a deal guaranteed. I'm going to work with you for as long as it takes to get that deal done. But I'm telling you, a lot of my clients, we just got a client sign up on Friday, Ryan. He's under contract on his deal within 3 days, should be closing in about a week on that deal. It's happening really fast because we are finding deals each and every single day. And between your day job, what you do for a profession, and then learning how to do valuation on property, learning how to do remodeling budgets, and etc., it's going to take you a year to get done what my team can get done for you inside of a week. Okay, and I'm not bragging here. I'm just telling you in real world, we're getting it done and you can do it as well. Okay, so how do you get involved? Well, you just gotta message me, man. Like you guys message me. I get questions all the time from people asking about flips and remodels and strategy and et cetera. And I'm happy to answer them whether I'm your coach or not. Okay, this is not about the money for me. It's about creating change in people's lives through building wealth. Obviously, when you're really focused and serious about doing a deal, you're gonna wanna make an investment. Real estate agents gotta pay for real estate school, right? Pilots got to pay for pilot school. Doctors got to go to med school. Okay. So if you're really serious about doing this, there is going to be an investment required. Really, there's two investments. The first investment is into coaching, knowing you've got someone in your corner to help you to get this done, right? The second investment is actually pulling the trigger on doing a house. If you're not prepared to make those investments into your financial future, then this is not the right fit for you. And that's A-okay. That there's no offense taken at all. But the best way to determine that is to hop on a call and let's determine if this is the right fit for you. Okay. If you've been on the sidelines going, I'm not sure, I don't know, call Matt Aporta, man. I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to you about his experience in making 25 grand on a property he probably saw twice, maybe 3 times. Once when we bought it, once when it was done. And I think he visited somewhere in between to check out the construction. But he lives in Evergreen, Colorado, a solid hour and a half away from here. So he wasn't visiting the job site every single day. He's got a day job as well. This is a side hustle that's making him bank, baby. And you guys can make the same amount of bank as well if you want to get involved and get started. And I'm hyped up about this because I went to I just want to share this story with you, okay? I went to a content creator conference in Asheville, North Carolina, and I did a whole podcast on this, so stay tuned to the podcast. If you haven't already subscribed, stay tuned to that. But I met a wisdom is the best word that comes to mind, a very wise, younger than me guy by the name of Paul Xavier. And he went through this whole diatribe on how people are against the concept of getting rich quick, right? When you hear get rich quick, what does it do to you? Well, it creates all these images of scams and you can't sustain it, et cetera, okay? But the reality of getting rich in general is that it generally happens quickly. See, people see the overnight success. They see it as, oh my God, out of the blue. You know, people felt that way about Laura and I, that we suddenly got rich out of the blue. What they didn't see was the 7 or 8 years of perfecting the craft of flipping houses that it took to capitalize on the markets of 2019 through 2021, that we really were able to take all the experience that we had built up until that point and capitalize on one of the best markets for real estate had ever seen and probably will ever see again. Okay, but it wasn't an overnight success story, just looked that way. However, it did happen in a very short period of time. Okay, and that's going to be pretty much everybody's story who's going to get hyper wealthy. It's work, and then hop up. If you use the analogy of the hockey stick, like the hockey stick has a slight angle. If you can picture a hockey stick, it goes up by a little bit, but it goes way up. It was a long, painful night, let me tell you, all right? But once we were there, okay? And now my passion, the intensity, my entire purpose for rolling out of bed in the morning is to help people just like you who are watching this and going, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I have the know-how, the capability, the capital, etc. We have one conversation, roughly 45 minutes. I'll be able to determine very quickly if you're in the right space to do this. You're thinking, I don't have enough money. We're using other people's money. That's not the issue, okay? This is an OPM system on day one. I don't have enough know-how. You're hiring the know-how. Do you know what I'm determining on whether or not you're a right fit for my system is or not? Can you pull the trigger? Right? Because the secret sauce in doing well in real estate investing is the ability to pull the trigger. When the opportunities present themselves, they happen super fast. Okay. Yet people think there are no deals on the market, but that deal that I just showed you, okay, if you spend an hour or two deliberating over this, you're not getting it. The investors who are savvy about what the numbers, before I saw this listing, I could have told you, because I honestly think I own the house at some point, but I could have told you that house was 400 grand before I did the analysis. How? I've done a lot of houses in that neighborhood at that square footage. Okay, hundreds of flips in my career, but I have touched every neighborhood, every price range, everything you can think of. Not that I say that I know everything, it's just that I've experienced most of it, right? And as a result, you are employing that experience to help you to do deals. And I do want to get you jazzed up here, okay? I want to get you fired up because yes, it should lead to you messaging me and hopping on a call so we can get a deal done, but also because I like to be around people who are excited about life. Are you going to a job every single day that you can't stand? You're making just enough money to pay your bills. You're wondering what your financial future looks like. Do you want to change that? Don't you want to change that? Right? If you're not fired up about making a drastic change in your life, I'm not the right fit for you because I'm fired up about everything. Right? I am just passionate about life. And I took on flipping one day in 2019, New Year's Eve of 2019, really New Year's Day of 2020, woke up, looked next to my beautiful wife, Laura, and I said, baby, I want to flip 50 houses this year. Right? And she looked back at me and said, I think you're still intoxicated from last night. Go back to bed. Right? You're nuts. We're not going to do 50 flips in a year, but we went after it. We put everything we had after that goal. We could not have planned on one big problem, coronavirus. Okay. So we ended up hitting 40 flips in that year, but we went from doing 7 to 8, maybe 12 in our best year to doing 40 in 1 year because we just put some passion and intensity behind it. That's all it really took. Put the passion and intensity behind it. Now I've got a team who's as passionate and intense about real estate investing and creating what we call a Disneyland-like experience for real estate flippers so we can help you to do a deal right here in the local Colorado Springs market. I have clients all over the country. Okay, people come to me from all over the country and want to flip. And obviously when they come to me, they kind of want to flip in their neck of the woods because they know that area better than anywhere else, right? The first thing I have to explain is because I know this market, my construction teams are in this market, I want to do our first deal right here in Colorado Springs with a guaranteed return of $25,000 or more. Okay. Then once we've gotten the first one done, we can start looking into other areas, other environments, building construction teams and et cetera in different areas. But when we get started out, we're here. We want to do deals here because I can predict the outcome a lot better in my own market. And I can't predict that everywhere else. Right? So the bottom line is the time to get involved is right now. It is not when we're actually in a foreclosure crisis. You don't want to wait till there are a billion houses available in the market. For one thing, it's going to take much longer to sell houses in that marketplace. Okay. When inventory comes up, days on market's going to go up. We already saw a little of that because inventory was at all-time stupid lows for decade lows in the 2019 and 2020 market, right? Now that it's come up to normal levels, close to normal levels, it's still below normal by a little bit, but it's come up a little bit, then we are now seeing that houses are selling in about 21 to 30 days. But if they're done well, like the example I gave you on this call, we're getting it done in a day, right? So nice houses in this market are going to sell. You want to learn how to remodel to nice house now. So when the market is awesome and conducive to this, you're already ahead of the game. Okay. So I have to encourage people not to wait for a market shift, but get in front of that market shift. It's going to happen. Okay. The foreclosure crisis is coming. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't know how long it's going to be. My crystal ball is broken, but I do know that every market is cyclical, especially the real estate market. And we are well overdue for a pretty massive correction. Okay. We saw a bump last year in 2022, prices went down 10 to 12%. I think they've come back up to pretty much that level, maybe 3 or 4% lower. But if you fast forward another 6 to 12 months from now, we'll be back to completely normal pricing. So what are you waiting for? We're finding deals every single day. We're fixing those deals. We're making people money, and I'm certain I can help you to do the same. So that's the show for this week, guys. Wanted to show you the Mattaporta story and get you fired up. One last note, okay? My course, the 5 F's of Foreclosure Investment System, is now available. We're just wrapping it up. And because I want to test it out, we're going to be selling that course, the value on it comfortably $2,000, okay? I've got 40 videos in there where I dialogue in copious detail how I go through each step of my process. The plan was it's worth $2,000. We were going to sell it for $1,000. I'm going to give it to people who do a coaching call for the month of October. Okay, it's going to be a free value. I'm going to hand you the keys to it because I want you to at least test drive it for 30 days at very minimum. Try the course out. I want to see how it resonates with people who are signing up for coaching. So just for doing the coaching call, I'm going to give you access to the course, let you try it out. Okay, that way I can see how well it goes, what questions you have on it. My objective with the course, the people who take the course are going to be so fired up about doing a deal that they're going to call me to sign up for coaching and want to get going. And at that point, I promise you it's going to be a waiting list. And I promise you the cost of coaching is going to be more than it is right now. So if you want to get involved while I'm still cost effective. My prices are going up because the availability is going down. Now is the time. The market's conducive. Let's go. With that, this is Donny Coram, your foreclosure deals coach. Thanking you so much for tuning in each and every single week to this live broadcast where we answer your questions on foreclosure investing. With that, I thank you for the time and remind you now and always, don't buy a house, buy a deal.